All right, welcome to the Clydesdale. Today I will be taking on as host while Scott's sitting in the background producing, and we've got Kat here with us. And today on the show, Dallin Pepper. Welcome, Dallin. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Excited to
So,
be here. Let's
yeah, so
go.
I know you're one of the younger athletes that might be in the field, but you're no newbie to CrossFit or to fitness.
hmm
With your last 3 games appearances being in 2017, you took first in the 14-15 division.
Yes, ma'am.
2018 and 19, you took first in the 16 and 17th division.
Yeah, some
And
good years in the teenage division.
yeah,
Seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, seriously, it's felt like forever since I've been back to Madison to compete, and so much has changed since then.
how did you first get into CrossFit?
My parents started doing CrossFit out of our garage. They were at an affiliate, and then they couldn't make the time to drive over, so they got some equipment in the garage, and they wanted me to start working out to help with baseball, football, basketball, all of that. And I honestly thought it was silly. I could just go to my practice with the team and I would excel there. And then I eventually saw the 2015 CrossFit Games, and there's a teenage division the first year. And I was hooked at the fact that you could compete in this. And I started the next day in the garage.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's Murph. So competition has always been sort of a thing for you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you played baseball and you did football and some of the other sports that normally you do. Was it when you saw the games, was it because you could sort of relate to it and say, like, I'm good at this, I could be really good at this? Or was it just like, did you have the wherewithal at that point in time to know that you could be good at it?
I had never done a CrossFit workout when I watched that first CrossFit Games.
Uh-huh.
I just thought it was really cool. I mean, I watched then like the Froning documentary came out like right around then as well, and so my dad was having me watch that, and just like the whole idea of uh, like it was just really cool. That's all I saw on TV. It was cool, and I wanted to try it, and uh, I just for some reason was hooked with the idea of trying to win that and do well in the sport.
So, what was your first competition then? Did you have a competition before going to the games?
Yeah, so I did a local competition. It would have been the fall following the 2016 Open. So like I did the Open and then a local competition throughout 2016, and then 2017 is when I qualified.
Were you working out at an affiliate at that point? I mean, I know you said you started in the garage, but I think in
So
2016 you pretty much kind of had to be somewhere to do it, right?
yeah, so I started at Spanish Fort CrossFit
Okay.
like January 2016. So I did like 6 months kind of in the garage with my dad, and he was helping me, and then I
Mm-hmm.
was starting to take it a little more seriously, so I got some better coaching at an affiliate.
Okay. 16.5. How did you like that?
That was the
Well,
thruster burpee, right?
yes,
Yeah, my favorite. One of my
because it was
favorite
also
open workouts.
14.5. I very
Yes.
vividly
Yes,
remember this.
yes. I would prefer not to do it again unless we have to. I mean, unless someone tells me to and I get points for it, then I'll
Right?
avoid it.
That's funny.
So, yeah, at what point did you realize, you know what, I might be kind of good at this?
So the 2016 Open, I took like 115th or something in the 14-15 division. I'd only really been doing CrossFit for, you could call it 8 months, but at an affiliate with actual coaching for 2 months, and I had progressed a ton in that short amount of time. I just kind of kept my head down and stuck with it. And then after the 2017 Open, I believe I was fifth. That's when it kind of clicked that I was like, oh, like you could be really good at this. Like instead of just qualifying for the games, like go for the podium or go to win, that type of thing.
So, you go from doing sports like in high school where it's, you have the team aspect and other peers with you, but I'm sure, what was it like with a peer group or being in high school and not having maybe other peers that were doing CrossFit with you?
Yeah, so I actually, let's see, after right before my freshman year, so it was after I'd qualified for the games and won, I stopped playing football and baseball. Um, and not everyone agreed with that decision, whether it was parents of people on my team, friends, any of that. I was pretty good at those other sports, and like that was where all my friends were, and so I dedicated that time to CrossFit, and a lot of times that was hours in the gym by myself, after school, before school, and just chasing after a single goal.
Was that a hard decision to like
Yeah,
leave your friends,
it took like 2
essentially?
months, and yeah, essentially leaving my friends, but also like not like I still saw them at school and stuff. But I was just drawn to this idea of winning the CrossFit Games, and that's
Yeah.
what consumed my mind, and that's all I wanted to do. And I wouldn't change that for the world, and that's what I was happy doing. So,
Yeah. Did things change socially for you when you made that decision? And the reason I ask is like when I was in high school, I did ballet, and that
mhm.
was, I didn't do it with my school friends. I did it with people outside, and it really affected sort of my social life
Yeah,
in school because I had friends, but we were never really that close because we didn't go to basketball practice together and we weren't, spending time on the weekends because I was always doing that other thing. So I imagine it was similar for you.
yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I got made fun of quite a bit because like
Mhm.
I'd pack my lunch and it was like vegetables and like healthy foods, and being in middle school, high school, like everyone's picking on everyone because everyone's so insecure. And so it was like, oh, you're lifting weights. It's like the attention. I didn't love attention. And so it was like, oh, why don't we do a push-up contest with Dallin Pepper?
Mm.
Like it's like that kind of thing. It just drove me crazy. So I became pretty quiet. I was just kept to myself for the most part. And I still had those friends, but like I said, we weren't together after school every day at practice, and we weren't doing the same thing. So there was less to relate upon. And honestly, I was just pretty focused individual. I was at school to get my schoolwork done so I could go home and train. So,
So Kat and I are both parents, and we have sons that just graduated in 2021. I know you just graduated in 2020. Is that right?
yep.
Okay. So your senior year was really affected by COVID. So because high school was kind of, were you kind of relieved with that? That hey, I can kind of be done with that school part and get my more training in, or do you feel
Yeah,
like you did a
so
loss?
I said, so my junior year, I became a much more normal high school student. Like I found a really good group of friends I was able to do more with, and had a lot of fun. They all happened to be a year older than me though. So my junior year was kind of like my senior year, like all the
Hmm.
fun stuff. I played baseball and football, that year, just to do some different stuff. That was like my last year as a teen in the CrossFit Games. Um, and so going into the senior year, like I wanted nothing to do with school. I wasn't there much because I had done most of my credits anyway. So I got like work release so I could go train, that type of thing. And I left for Atlas Games, the whenever that was, and I got a
The one that
text
never
message,
happened.
and yeah, I never went back to school after that. So I didn't mind at all. Like I just trained in my garage and had a key to the affiliate. So ending school 3 months early or whatever it was not an issue for me.
Yeah. I'm curious. Well, so shortly after graduation, or not too much longer after graduation, you got married.
I did, yes.
So, was your wife a high school sweetheart, or did you guys meet outside of school?
So she was actually in that friend group my junior year.
She was the
So
senior, right?
yes, she was a
Okay.
senior. Yeah, so we became really good friends. She was definitely the most chill, and that's kind of what I was drawn to that, you could say. And yeah, so we were good friends for a really long time before we started dating. I took her to her senior prom, and then we started dating after that.
So good. You got to go to a prom. That's exciting.
Yes, I went to lots of dances. Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
didn't miss many. No,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Did you ask her parents like permission
I
to
did.
marry her?
Yes,
You did all that traditional
absolutely.
stuff. Was that
hmm
nerve-wracking?
Yes, for sure. Especially like so, her dad uh, lives in Evanston, Wyoming. They own a timber company,
Okay.
and rugged dude who's going to take care of his daughters, and so that was a little nerve wracking, but we're out.
Did you have to call him or were you in
I
person
went
when
in
you asked?
person, yeah,
You went in
yeah,
person.
yes,
Yeah.
My husband, when he asked, my dad did not live anywhere near us, so he had to
hmm
call him. and he called him like in the middle of the day, and my dad like totally blew him off and didn't realize who he was when he called. It was kind of like, thought he was like a sales guy. Hey, this is
Yeah.
Chris, I wanted to talk to you. He's like, oh, Chris, can I call you back? And took him a while to realize who he was and what he was asking for. It was a
Yes.
great experience for my
That's
husband.
awesome. That's super funny.
It's a great story. So I always like to ask if anyone else has a similar story in doing
Yes.
that. But sounds like it went okay for you.
Yeah, I'm very close with all of her family, so it wasn't that big of an issue.
That's
So
great.
speaking of that, I saw that you guys do some hunting trips together. So yeah, I might be a little intimidated to ask somebody who likes to be in their camo and hunting gear.
Yeah, no, I enjoy that stuff too, so it was fun.
That's awesome. So tell us about moving to Naples. How did that situation happen?
So yeah, first it's been awesome. That's been a huge role in what's happened this season. I want to say last year, quarterfinal open time, I was just thinking like I just wanted a little bit more. Like I saw I didn't know what I wanted. I knew it was more, and I wasn't sure what it was. And I actually texted Emma Carey, and I was like, if we could move to Naples sometime, would you want to go down and be training partners? And she was like, I just got off the phone with Matt Torres, our coach, the day before that, asking the exact same thing. So I texted Matt that day, and we all were kind of thinking it, and it all happened in the same week. And we weren't going to move there until after this season, but things started working out in the way they needed to get us down here as quickly as possible, and it was an opportunity we couldn't say no to.
And so you're training with Brute then, but you recently just went to Vermont.
I did go to Vermont
to train with Matt. No, go ahead. Sorry.
We got to break this down. So I'm going to ask lots of questions.
Okay, here we go.
Bring it on.
So start from the beginning. How does Matt Torres come to you and say, hey, I got a call from O'Keefe and they need some rabbits for, Jason and Mal to chase? Like, does Matt Fraser like slide in your DMs and be like, hey, Dallin, come on up? Like, I want to know how it works.
Yeah, so
don't leave any detail undone. I want to hear everything.
I'll try not to. There's lots of different connections, but my agent is Cooper Marsh, who is best friends with Jake Marconi. They were roommates for like 6 years. He lived near Sammy. They all know each other really well. So there's that connection. Matt Torres and Matt Frazier have gotten to know each other pretty well, coaching in the back, especially through semifinals this year. They were at every competition together, and they get along really well. We hung out with Matt in Knoxville quite a bit and basically got to know them. We all got along pretty well.
Who's we? Who's we? When you say we? You and your wife? You and your training?
Yeah, my wife, Brute, Lab, like Cooper, Matt, everyone that was at the competition. And basically Cooper, Matt Torres, Matt O'Keefe, and Matt Frazier all talked at Granite Games and kind of planned that. So yeah, way too many Matts involved. Confusing, even more confusing. But yeah, they talked at Granite Games. And we just set up a training camp just to run through some workouts with each other, get surrounded with like-minded individuals, and learn from the best.
Was it open to other folks that you train with, or was it like just particularly you?
Phil was unable to come. But
so he was invited.
To
be honest, was Jake just tired of losing so bad to Matt all the time? Probably, yeah.
Jake said he tapped out after semifinals. He jumps in on occasionally, but he put the coaching hat on, is what he told me.
Had you ever encountered Mal at the games before, like as a teenager training or competing?
Mal and I had we knew each other from the games and have connected through social media a little bit, but I haven't
spent any time with her.
No.
She's like a bro.
Yeah, she's fun to hang out with. She's pretty quiet, and so I feel like that's how a lot of people are. Like once they're in their own setting, they can relax a little bit. I'm the same way, but she's super fun to hang out with.
I was going to say she seems very understated, but I bet you she's really funny. Like,
yes.
Has a really good sense of humor, but it's kind of dry and sort of like just understated.
Yeah, she'll throw comments out, and it's just like, whoa, that was really funny.
So, what was it like training with Matt? Like under Fraser?
Yeah, it's incredible. You can tell how much like the thought and experience he has through all of his years of training, and how he's applying it. And you can just see it in his face, like all the things that he's thinking about as we're doing workouts, that type of thing. The thought that goes into programming workouts and how people should approach them and technique used. And it really makes you take that thought and take it into your own training all the time.
Did you stay with him? Like in his
We were
house?
at a hotel
You
just
were at a
like
hotel.
3 minutes away. Yeah.
Did Sammy cook for you guys?
Oh yeah, Sammy hooked us up all weekend. It was incredible.
That's awesome. Did your wife get to go, or was it just you
Yes.
and? Yeah. Oh, nice.
She also looks up to. We both look up to the relationships that Matt and Sammy have and the teamwork
Sure.
they have, and I wasn't gonna let her miss out on that. So
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do for nutrition?
I count all my macros, and Corinne, my wife, helps me a ton. I also work with M2, so I work with M2. You guys have heard of them, and then
Yeah.
Corinne is also a nutrition coach.
Oh.
So between the two of them,
Hmm.
they just help me get all my food in. It's a full-time job eating.
Seriously.
How many carbohydrates are you eating these days? How
I
many
have to
grams?
get at least 600 in every day. If I can get
Poor
more,
thing.
it's a win.
So sorry.
Yeah,
It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard at night,
Yeah.
just like rice and cereal.
Rice. Well, it's hard because you can't be full. You know, you need to like
Hmm.
ingest it, but it not be. It's like the opposite of what like someone who's actually trying to be in a deficit is looking to do.
Yes.
So I can understand that that's different. I would love to be on the other end of that. It would be fun sometime.
Occasionally, like every 10 days, it's like, oh no, I have to eat so much today. And
Scott,
that's where you get Chick-fil-A.
yeah, Scott the Clydesdales. His daughter's name is Corinne.
There you go. Terrific name.
Yeah. So do you coach as well?
I've kind of stepped away from that now. For a while, I ran the kids and teens program at Spanish Fork CrossFit, and then I had started pepper programs while I was in high school and was selling like specific movement programs that were like static, so it's just like a PDF. And then I was also doing one-on-one coaching online, that type of thing. And since the move to Naples, I've kind of stepped away from that to put more emphasis into training, recovery, all that.
You have had a ton of stress in your life in the last year. When you think about stress in the terms of like if someone were going to evaluate your life and say like the 5 biggest stressors, you know, marriage, divorce, death in a family, moving, job change, you know, you've had like 2 of those things.
Yeah.
How do you sort of manage the mental part of just dealing with all that? Because it's a lot, and you're not, you know, you seem very mature, but you're a young person, you know,
Yeah,
hasn't had that much experience like dealing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think between my wife and I, like we work well together in managing stress, and honestly, like I just am confident in what we're doing, and so I know everything will work out how it needs to. So it's just one day at a time, and like really during the season, I don't even consider some of those as stressors. It's just like, okay, what do I have to do to make the next training day as ideal as possible?
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time that stuff doesn't even cross my mind. And my wife is amazing and takes care of the day-to-day stressors, all the little things, and so I don't have to, which is incredible, and I owe her the world.
Talk a little bit, Dallin, about the difference, like what changes you made in your training from last year to this year. Because when we first met you in person at West Coast, and we actually interviewed you, and you were riding high on the weekend, like it looked like you were probably going to qualify. And, you know, not knowing sort of what was in your wheelhouse and what was coming, you know, you were cautiously optimistic. We were a little more excited for you just because we didn't know what was to come. But I was disappointed, and clearly you had to have been, you know, disappointed in in just the outcome, not necessarily your performance. What kind of changes did you need to make so that this following season just turned out, you know, obviously much better for you?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I mean, my mistakes at West Coast came down to not knowing how to use a D-ball. That kept me out, but also I had a clear weakness in handstand push-ups and running, and I'll continue to get better at that. And I mean, what we did was develop my aerobic base as well as my gymnastics pressing overhead. And we just were unrelentless in the way we approached that. And now that we've been in Naples since January, I would say the biggest change has been how intentional everything is, where we have Coach Matt and Coach Dom's eyes on us for every single session. We can make adjustments mid-workout if we need to. If we're not reaching the stimulus we need, we can change reps, change weight, whatever that may be. And that just allows us to be more intentional. And then also my experience. I remember getting on the West Coast floor and everyone was so fast and everything was a blur. Whereas a teenager, it was almost like I could control how fast everyone else was moving. Like I could see the floor in a way that allowed me to make the decisions I needed to as it was happening. At West Coast, I had no ability to do that. And now that I've gotten more experience from Wadapalooza and the last semifinals, I'm a lot more confident within myself on the floor.
Yeah, it's almost like going from, high school to college, right? In a sport,
Exactly.
You're like the best one on the floor, and then you go and you're like, oh, I'm just regular, and everyone
Yes.
else is really
Slow,
good
in
too.
fact. Yeah.
Well, it seemed to have worked for you though, since you took home second from Mac this year.
Yeah,
Awesome.
things were going well.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you though, what do you do like to decompress? I think I saw that you are a big fan of The Office.
The Office, I believe we've been through the whole thing twice since we've been here. So I actually just turned it off when I walked in here.
I mean, it's on all the time.
Yeah, I sit on the floor stretching. When I'm home from the gym, it's just constantly playing. Like it's one of those things that you can just have kind of rolling.
background.
It's like if you're making food, eating food, doing some work, whatever it might be, like you can just have it going. So might as well just let it keep rolling.
Who's your least favorite character on The Office?
Oh, least favorite. I haven't been asked that one.
Or let's do the marry, shag, kill. Let's do that. You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I'd probably kill Angela. She's important. She's important.
She's a wacko.
But yeah, I could live without her. Or Kelly. She's really funny, but no. And then it really comes down to Kevin and Michael are my two favorites.
Yeah.
Kevin comes out on top. His one-liners are incredible. So.
I don't know. I might have to get rid of Dwight. Dwight's annoying.
But it wouldn't be the same.
So necessary, right? So
yeah,
necessary.
he has to be there. Yeah,
but annoying.
Yes.
What about Toby? Come on, Toby.
See the
Toby.
That's some of the best lines and the best scenes come from the fact that Toby sucks. So
I totally agree. We've got a comment here. It says, "What's up, guys? How does it feel to now be competing side by side against guys you started watching in the early days?"
That's a weird feeling. At Wadapalooza, lining up next to Vellner over and over again, it's like, what is happening? Because he started competing individual before I even made it as a teenager, and so that's been one of those times. And then like competing with Cole and Noah the last 2 years at semifinals. Cole also at Wadapalooza. It's really cool, but I also know I belong out there with them. So they're incredible people, but I don't get like all fanboy type stuff.
Sure.
Like they're incredible, but I belong out there too.
You have to tell Vellner if you see him you'll see him at the games, like behind the scenes, and just give him one of those like, man, I used to watch you compete when I was 10, or something to make him feel like really, really old. He would appreciate it, I think.
I asked him before one of the events at Wadapalooza, I was like, aren't you too old for this? Like, did you age out? Something like he was giving me a hard time too. He actually said, we missed you out in there on that final heat on the first day because I wasn't in the final heat to start the competition. So he was giving me a hard time. I had to give him a hard time.
Sonny, he's a good dude to do that with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love hearing about the banter that happens back there.
Yeah.
Tell me, what kind of mindset work do you do? Like that nervous feeling of when you're loading up in the corrals, the anticipation right before your heat's about to go. Is there any kind of mindset or mantras that you're going through in order to get focused for that event?
My dad's always told me since I was like 5 years old, before like T-ball games and stuff, if you're not nervous, you're not ready. So I just kind of embrace that feeling. It's not a good feeling. It's standing in the crowds is probably the worst thing ever. But if you can learn to embrace it and use it to your advantage, it can be powerful. So
Yeah, it's got to be nerve-wracking. Speaking about training now, and I know Scott's got a question about the banter between James, Phil, and Emma when you guys are training. But how often are you guys going like head to head? Because we hear all the time about these, training camps, and there's some criticism about maybe you guys could be overtraining, or you can't like be going at it all the time head to head. You're gonna kill yourselves.
mhm.
What does that balance look like for you guys?
I haven't done the same workout as them since quarterfinals.
Okay, good.
So if that
That
answers the question,
that does. That's a
um,
healthy approach to
yeah,
training too, because I'm
I
sure you all have your things that you're working on.
yeah, we've done similar-ish workouts, and uh, like Phil did a couple of James's semifinal workouts because Phil was week 3, James was week 1, just to get some numbers.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we're not often competing with anyone but ourselves. It's more just the energy in the room and the atmosphere that we use to our advantage.
You guys didn't have anyone in Last Chance, did you?
James was.
Oh, that's right. Did you
hmm
guys like test with him or like work out with him to sort of have him chase you?
Well, we actually had Fee come down here also
Oh, good.
because
Okay.
Matt's coaching Fee. So Phil and and Emma, we didn't do any of the workouts. I had just gotten back from Vermont too.
Hmm.
But Fee and James, sorry, they did the workout side by side or like staggered it in a way that was like,
You go, I go.
yeah, so that they could see what they needed to and in like a strength way, like James could let Fee know things on this and that type of thing.
Hmm. Did you get any really good nuggets from the weekend in Vermont?
Absolutely, I did.
Yeah, good, good. And you don't have to tell us what they are, but I
Yeah,
imagine they were very specific in terms of like when you're doing this movement, make sure you're doing it this way, or when you're
yeah.
transitioning from this to this, make sure that this is a better way to do it or a more efficient way to do it, which really is huge in competition
hmm
when you think about it. It's not just how efficient are you in the movement, but how can you get from one to the other and
Yes.
rest, recover, plan, and do all those things to make it go by a little faster.
Yeah, it comes down to like efficiency and how you do movements, how you transition, and that's what's going to win the CrossFit Games in the end because every dude there is incredibly fit.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, all those little things add up and can be big.
Yes.
So you
for
said one
sure.
of the things you had started to work on was handstand push-ups, or that was
hmm
sort of a weakness. Have you been practicing the freestanding handstand push-ups then?
I have, yeah, since they came out, we do them pretty consistently. I wouldn't say it's my best skill, but I can definitely do them now. So,
Have you been practicing L-sit rope climbs?
uh, not specifically, but we'll do that as like accessory. So,
You heard it here first. I think it's coming.
you think it's coming? All
Well,
right.
you have to remember, Adrian Bosman used to be in the circus.
That is true. And he is head programmer now.
He's
So
head programmer. He has tremendous pulling strength. And I'm afraid for you all that it's going to
as long
happen.
as he does the workout side by side with us, then we're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see. There's probably going to be something that, maybe we haven't seen before. I'm sure he's going to want to, make his mark, if you will,
Yeah, that's
in the
fair.
programming. And I'm just so curious to see what it is. And so thankful that it's not something that I'm going to have to do.
That's
We get
fair.
to watch you guys do it.
I mean, we'll probably do more shuttle runs, right?
I would imagine. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that is Jeff Adler. We would talk to him recently, and he said it seems like every year there's some kind of theme, and he was like, or a storyline. And I feel like Shuttle Runs is the storyline this year.
Yeah, the year of the shuttle
Technically,
runs.
it was supposed to be in every stage, but we did box jump overs in the open instead of the
Yeah.
shuttle runs,
Oh, that's
and
right.
that would have hit every stage. So
Yeah.
What's interesting is I think the shuttle runs were Dave's idea.
yes, that's the other thing.
So you'd think they'd want to probably maybe get rid of those if they're trying to sort of reinvent what they're doing. Although I don't know that they're trying to reinvent it. It doesn't need to be reinvented, right? I mean,
From what I understand, like even when Dave was there was a team of people programming, and 90% of the team is still there. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
I
excited.
don't think it'll be too different.
So what does training look like now? We're 29 days away? Something like
28,
that?
I believe.
28? When are you heading up to Wisconsin?
I leave July 28th, so that's the Thursday before, 6 days before it starts.
Okay. Check-ins
Get
on
up there.
Sunday, right?
Yeah, train a little bit that weekend. Just get in, relax, be at the Airbnb, settle in.
Do you have a big group that you're staying with?
It'll be me and my wife, Matt, Coach Dom and his wife, and then Micah Shoemaker, who's been doing a lot of the Brute Media, Brute podcast.
Mhm.
Yep.
We'll be at the Airbnb.
I got to interview Ashley Shoemaker, his wife, because
There you
she
go.
qualified to semis.
Yes.
Mm.
Great people.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Keep things light at night when I need to chill out a little bit. So.
Have you been on his podcast yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Micah are tight.
You're tight.
So keeping it light, question. Did you and Corinne get to go on honeymoon?
Yes, we went up to Park City. It was like an hour from where we lived, just for a couple nights, and then it was back to training because semis were coming up.
So do you have any like bucket list travel places that you guys want to go when it's not right in competition season? And
I don't know. We're kind of open to wherever life takes us. Like if there's opportunities to go hit a competition and then stay for a week, or I don't know. You see people in the CrossFit space traveling all over to cool places for different opportunities, and I think we're open to any of those. But definitely go to Europe sometime, right? That's pretty easy answer, but
how about Dubai, Austin, Miami?
I do want to compete in Dubai at least once.
Yeah.
And Iceland. I think Iceland would be a really cool place.
Mm-hmm. You've never been there, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be very cool. Do you guys have plans for after the games? Like to just...
We are going to go back to Utah for a month, actually.
Okay.
Just see family.
So will any of your family come to Wisconsin?
Yeah, my whole family will be there. Corinne's dad will be there. And then like some of my extended family and friends.
Do you have brothers and sisters, Dallin?
I have 2 younger brothers, 2 younger sisters.
Oh, so you're the oldest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else following in your CrossFit footsteps?
You know, my sister has been putting in some serious work, so you better watch out in a year or two. Hopefully.
She's how old?
She's 13 right now.
Nice.
Yes.
That's cool. So, and do your parents still CrossFit?
Yeah, they're both level 1s. I think
nice.
My mom's going to work on her level 2. They coach, and so they're heavily involved at the gym.
Do they do any like masters competitions?
No, that's not their thing. They work out so my mom doesn't go crazy, and my dad likes to lift weights. So
I love it.
He thinks running with a weight vest is easier because it's like lifting weights, not running. That's what he tells himself in his head, and he can go slower.
Yeah.
So what are you a fan of any other sports? Like, are you a big football fan that you like to watch, or what?
I'll watch any sport really. Baseball has my heart for sure. But I love football and basketball as well.
What position did you play, Dallin?
I was a catcher.
Okay. I'm a pitcher's mom.
There you go.
I love baseball.
Pitchers couldn't do it without the catchers, just saying.
This is true. We love all of my son's catchers. They're great.
Yes. That's awesome.
All right. Do you ski or snowboard?
I snowboard. Half my family skis, half of us snowboard. So.
Did you start snowboarding at a younger age?
Yeah, me and my brother were like 7 and 5, 6 and 5.
Okay.
So,
did you ski first or no?
We went straight to snowboarding, and then he switched to skiing.
Yeah. So I skied my whole life, and then as a young adult, I tried to snowboard, and I was in tears. The first, my first outing, I had bruised knees and a bruised ass, and I was so tired of catching edges and falling. I was just like,
all over.
I'm out. I can't do it. I'm like too big for this. I can't. It was
snowboarding
really
is
sad.
A lot less forgiving, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and I ski on the East Coast, which is like the Pocono Mountains, which is complete ice. It's a sheet of ice. Like there's no powder or anything. So those edges are just like waiting for you.
You got to go to Utah, greatest snow on earth.
I would love to try it again. I'm a pretty good surfer, so I think I could figure it out,
Yeah,
but
you could handle
I
it.
just didn't have any patience for it at all. I was such a wuss.
Kat, why don't you tell Dallin the other sport you've been starting to dabble in now as a master?
Yeah. So I heard you were with my girl Danielle Brandon last week training.
Yep.
I've taken up pole vaulting.
Oh, sick.
I'm very intrigued because we've been interviewing lots of athletes, and I would say like 3 or 4 of them lately. It's just been a common theme, like, oh, I pole vaulted. Oh, I pole vaulted. I'm like, I want to learn how to do that.
So you started.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
So I've taken 2 lessons at a jumping club, like an indoor from like an Olympic, pole vaulting coach or whatever.
Legit.
Yeah, first time, got right into the pit, was doing my thing. Second time, and after the first time, my shoulder was really sore. I didn't warm up my shoulders very well. I wasn't really thinking that. I was thinking like, oh, this is a running thing. So the next time I went, I spent a lot of time warming up my shoulders. And it was funny because I asked the coach, I said, do you guys have like a PVC pipe or something I can use? And he's like, we have poles all over the place. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
That would work.
I'm like priming my shoulders. I'm doing like, crossover symmetry and all this stuff for my shoulders, and, do a couple spiders. I run on the true form. I pulled both of my hamstrings in like the first 3 runs.
No.
My shoulders felt great.
Yeah, your shoulders were ready to go.
Did not warm up at all. So 2 weeks of and I'm a CrossFit coach, so I literally couldn't walk for a couple of days. It was bad.
Are they better now?
They're much better now. And okay. And I also pulled like an adductor for some reason. I don't know, because I was all out of whack.
So keep doing your stretching, Dallin, because it's really important that you become a master.
Don't get to 50 and try something new. But I am going back in a couple of weeks, and the guy told me that I could actually compete as a master in pole vaulting because I'm not.
You should.
It'll be fun.
I'm gonna have to try it now at some point.
Yeah. It's so fun. If you can run and you have explosiveness, which we as CrossFitters, that's all we do, right? That hip to extremity explosiveness. It's all you need.
Absolutely.
All right, Travis has another question.
Yep.
With the games contract up in Madison after this year, do you have a preferred location you'd like to see the games next year?
If I was still in Utah, I would definitely say Colorado, which is that's a possibility with HQ and everything. That would kind of be a pain now. We'd have to go to Utah or Colorado for a month to acclimate.
Get used to it all.
Honestly, I don't really care where it's at. Just kind of showing up to compete. That's a super boring answer, I know, but
how would you feel about another ruck run in Vegas?
As long as it's not back and forth in a parking lot, it'll be better than last time.
There's some scenery, maybe.
Yeah, just and you get that false corner where it's zigzag back and forth, and you thought you were at the last one, but you actually had 2 full down and backs before you could turn back in. That was not a great feeling.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys did that. That was a literal. I'd never been to Vegas, but that was a literal oven. If you told, that's what it would feel like to walk into a life-size Hansel and Gretel oven.
Yeah, sure. It was warm even that early in the morning, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite mountain in Utah?
Probably Nebo, just because I see it outside of Nebo CrossFit. It's straight out the garage. So that's.
Now, is that to hike or ski or both?
That one I've actually never hiked or anything. It's just the one I see from my parents' house and from the gym.
Scenic view. Got it.
Yeah, Temp would probably be a good one. Hiking, snowboarding.
Are you near were you? Oh no. Oh gosh, I'm getting my states wrong. I was just going to say, are you near a basin? But that's in Colorado. Never mind.
Yep.
Wrong state. When you're from the East Coast, it's all
all the same.
Anyway,
just mountains.
It's California, Chicago, and then East Coast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Colorado would wreck athletes. Yes, it would. Colorado. Yeah, the elevation in Colorado would be a little crazy. Did you notice elevation in Vegas last year?
Well, I was in Utah still, so.
So it didn't really affect. Did you hear it affecting other athletes?
What affected people the most, I think, was the dry heat. Even the snatch ladder, everyone had Fran lung, and it was just a snatch ladder, and it was super weird. but everyone was feeling that after event 1, which was odd, just super dry.
Yeah. How's your swimming training going down?
I like swimming.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you incorporate it all year round or just like right before? Okay.
Yeah, for a while I was actually swimming twice a week for like a year and a half. Brute has a swim coach, Coach Nemo.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his real name. I think it's like Nemanha or something. He's somewhere from Europe. He lives in Canada. He's been awesome. He's helped my swimming a ton. I know how to pace in swimming now, which I think is huge. It's like running splits. I know my swim splits, and just that knowledge has helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer open water or pool?
Open water.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. I think it can
Go ahead.
affect other people more that have a deficiency in swimming. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
the
That's
pool
true.
is the pool is a safe space.
Yeah. Well, and there's
And you have
lines.
lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No one's gonna zigzag, which
Have you
takes
ever
way more
encountered
time.
that? Have you ever encountered that where somebody swims over you? Or like have you ever done like a mass start?
Just at the games, but we were teens. We did like a mass start and like a 500, but it was all 80 of us, I think. It was both
Okay.
divisions when there was 20 of each. Um,
And what are you
there
saying?
was people
Teens
pulling
are
and
less
stuff.
aggressive
But yeah, definitely less aggressive, but
and
they're still
smaller.
pulling, swimming over the top of people. But that doesn't scare me too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, as Scott says, you're big enough to swim over people. So
Yeah, I just have to look at people, all these little CrossFitters.
Does your wife or you, are you guys on TikTok at all?
Like
does
posting
Corinne
or
dabble
like
in it?
scroll TikTok.
Well, I
Scroll
mean,
TikTok.
yeah, you tell me. I don't know.
We like a good funny video every once in a while. Yeah.
I think
So.
it would be cool to do for her to like produce a glow up video for you, like the ones where they talk about like when you were 10 versus when you're now.
Oh, yes,
Because
yes.
that would be a very stark
yeah,
comparison,
just
contrast.
send back to all those high schoolers that were teasing you. Like, look at this.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little different now, huh?
Yeah.
Let's have a push-up contest now.
Yeah.
In
I
fact,
hate
we do
push-ups.
freestanding handstand push-up contest.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. They always
Right.
call it the upside down push up. My favorite.
Yeah.
Upside down. Do you think wall walks are going to come back this year?
It wouldn't surprise me if they did, but I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so. They weren't that fun. I think logistically too, with all the sweating and humidity and stuff, it wasn't like that was so gross to me to watch you guys like heat after heat, like your face and someone else's sweat from the heat before. It was.
I want to say like the AC was out or something on that Wednesday, right?
It was the first night and they hadn't or it was on, it just hadn't like gotten up to speed yet.
Yeah.
Because
everyone talked about that being like the hottest event,
it was so hot.
the sweatiest event ever. But.
Well, and this is what I'm curious about too, because since you've been to Wisconsin for a couple of years, I mean, in 2000, it's so unpredictable. In 2017, it was cold.
It's freezing.
Right.
Yeah.
And like
it was like hailing one day.
Right. And then last year was the hottest day of the year. I mean, it's just so unpredictable. It's hard to know how to gauge that. It's weird.
Yeah, keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
What goes in your suitcase when you pack for Madison? Like
all 6 of my suitcases.
Well, yeah, right? Like you're paying extra for bags, right? Like you're
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean like overweight and all this other stuff.
Even with semifinals, we checked like 5 bags or something. I have like my basket of all of my mobility and recovery tools that gets its own suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the games, all sorts of different shoes for all the different types of events we could see. Then like the normal clothes and supplements, that type of thing. There's like a bag for different sleeping, like blackout curtains, noise machines, all of that stuff for sleeping.
Did Matt tell you how to hook yourself up with a mattress when you get there? or what?
That's a great story. Just get sent the Performa Sleep. I actually have the Performa Sleep. It's a great mattress.
You should make a call and see if they can't get it to your hotel. That would be great.
I know, yeah.
But don't you need 2 more suitcases just to bring back all the swag that you're going to get?
I know. You have to bring a lot for the games. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff that you get. So.
That's pretty cool though. Tell us the difference between Reebok and Noble in terms of Reebok being a title sponsor versus Noble being a title sponsor. You're not sponsored by either, right?
No.
Okay, so
No.
speak freely.
Um.
Well, I guess. Oh wait, no, you didn't have the Noble experience, right? You haven't
No,
had that yet.
I haven't been. Nope.
Sorry, I didn't do my
Yeah.
homework. Are you excited for the Noble experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be wearing Innovates, the
Okay.
better shoe anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I think they did a good job with like the experience of the athletes and that type of thing, and they had like a cool locker room feel, I think, last year where they had some good content. I personally liked the bright colors of uniforms. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, they were understated last
Yeah.
year.
I mean, they looked clean, but
Mhm.
it was blacks and grays. So
Yeah, it's kind of muted. Yeah.
Dallin, would you consider wearing a pair of Reeboks in a workout that is like completely in your wheelhouse?
I would not.
You would not. Okay.
No.
Is that because of a signed contract or just
Decline to answer.
Okay,
No.
got it.
I love Innovates.
Okay.
Vindicate's got it down. The G300 is my favorite shoe.
You're a man of integrity. I mean, 12 grand is 12 grand. So
yeah, no, I'll stick with the 300s.
So if it's not a day of training and it's a day off, a rest day, besides watching The Office, we know that's always on. How else do you decompress, or like what do you like to do outside of a gym day?
I mean, rest days are still just as important. Spending, sleeping, eating, and stretching for the most part. Corinne and I will go to the pool, or we usually try and go get some good food. That's what our date nights are. Usually revolve around food, so I can keep getting calories in. Other than The Office, we like Marvel movies. We just watched all the Harry Potters. In season, rest days, I don't do anything. Just kind of getting ready for the next training day, relaxing and not using any energy.
Did you guys see the new Top Gun movie?
Yes. Incredible. Very good.
So
good, right? Had you seen the original?
You're going to hate me, but no.
No, it's okay. That's all right. So we took my family to watch it on a Sunday night, and then on Monday night we followed it up with another family night of on the couch, through Amazon Prime, I think, and we watched the original. You just take some time to watch it. That's all.
I know. I need to.
But it was really good.
When Corinne found out I hadn't watched it, she almost killed me too. So.
Oh, okay. So she's seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corinne, that's your homework. Another date night.
I didn't do anything. All I did was work out as a teenager.
Well, next time I'll just need to speak to your parents about that because it's not your fault.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Does your wife CrossFit?
Just to be healthy and have fun. She jumps in on some of my training, scales it so that we're finishing about the same time to give me a little push. She'll brag that she beat me by 2 seconds last Wednesday. It's whatever.
Hey, I would brag about that too, for sure.
No, we have fun. She's a good push in the gym on different things, and yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys ever have like a game night, or do you like to play games, card games?
That's a great question. I forgot about. We play quite a bit of games. James loves card games, so James is always over here. We have Emma. We'll play some cards at least once a week.
Yeah.
What games are you playing and who's winning most of the time?
Right now we're playing a lot of Nerds.
Nerds. What is that?
Oh man, this is hard to explain. Basically, you're like, it's super sporadic.
Is it cards?
Yeah, it's cards. Everyone has a deck of cards.
Everyone has their own deck?
Yeah, and you're all playing all at the same time. There's no turns or anything. So everything's building in the middle, and you're trying to get rid of your Nerds pile. The first one to get rid of the pile of Nerds. It's like phase 10, I believe.
Yeah. I know what you're
Similar. Okay, yes.
See, I don't know what that is either.
Is there a lot of trash talking during this?
Yes, and usually no one can stay seated in a chair. It's always standing.
Oh, I love it.
So, yeah. Emma is my favorite to play card games with because she's so competitive, and it's awesome. That's a great way to explain it.
Aggressive solitaire. All right, I guess Scott knows how to play it. We'll have to talk about it in our next roundtable because I want to learn.
Yeah, it's
We
fun.
play
That's
we play rummy tiles at my house.
Oh yeah, Rummy Cube.
So
that's
fun.
what
Like I love rearranging. Like I have a grand scheme of like, okay, I need this one tile, and I'll do like 50 moves,
Yep.
to get
and I'll
to.
get to like 49, and I'll realize I can't do it, and then I have to put it all back.
Oh man.
I annoy everyone, but usually it works out.
Usually,
That's a
as
fun
long as
game.
it
I really
usually
like
works
that one.
out, then
Yeah.
you're good.
Most of the time.
So what events or what are you hoping to see at the games this year?
I'm excited for whatever swim test we have. Um, I'm excited to test my handstand push-ups. We didn't really get to do that at semis. Um, I'm excited for the events that we can only do at the CrossFit Games, like whatever they have planned with the course that goes to downtown Madison and then a place for equipment, whatever
Mhm.
that means. There's not really anywhere else you can do that, so I'm excited for that test. And then I like sprinty workouts, barbell, bike, power output, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any FOMO from a workout last year that you were like, oh, I would have loved?
I really liked the Snatch Echo Bike one.
Hmm.
I wouldn't call it fun. I did it.
Yeah.
It's not super fun. The pig flip one was cool. The Husafell bag. The swim kayak, just the long swim was. I would have liked to have done that.
Yeah. Do you have if they're probably gonna do a max lift. Do you have a preference?
Snatch, which
Okay.
they did last year. So.
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
I could see a snatch ladder, like a speed ladder this year. It's been a while since they've done that.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't had a ladder in the Coliseum. That would be cool.
Hmm.
Nerds is much better than Phase 10 by far.
I agree.
Y'all are talking in a completely foreign language, so I don't even know what that means.
Everyone knows.
It's okay.
I am not cool. I got to figure that one out. I wonder if my kids know. Do you play Wordle?
Yeah, we just started like in Vermont or the
Okay.
week before. Yeah.
So like you solve it and then group text your results to everybody. Yep. Okay. Did you do today's word?
I haven't done today's. I pulled open my iPad to get on this, and Wordle was open. I was like, I didn't do that.
So today's is really nerve-wracking. I might have to follow up with you later on today's. It's annoying.
All right, I'll have to. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. Post on Instagram or something.
Yeah. I want to know how you did.
So, Dallin, I'm just curious. Do you have any desires to, at some point later on down the line, like do any continuing education or explore higher education? Any of that?
I'm in school right now, just
you are?
part-time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I almost finished 2 years in high school, so I'm pretty far ahead.
Okay.
So I'm just taking part-time some of the easier credits,
Sure.
just to get them out during training, that type of thing, and then I'll save some of the harder classes for when that comes, if that comes.
Sure.
You're going for a business degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Economics.
we talked about that before? Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah.
No, not here.
Okay.
I just thought, or maybe I heard it somewhere else, but I remember you saying, because you were doing your programming business and like all of those sort of side hustles that, obviously at some point will culminate into something that's yours.
Yep. Yeah.
A la Mayhem Empire, but
something like
with,
that. That'd
with
be
the
cool,
pepper
right?
name.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
What they do is really cool. So many businesses under one umbrella.
It's crazy.
Impressive.
Very, very much so. All right. Well, I feel like we're getting down to the wire here. It's almost been an hour. It went by really fast.
I know. We're having a good time.
We are. And now we're going to Google Nerds later just to get the rules.
Yes.
I'm going to learn how to play that. You're going to do your Wordle and let me know how you do.
Absolutely.
You'll probably beat me. But what's your go-to start word?
Earth.
Ooh.
Shut up. That's mine.
Yeah.
That is my word.
It's, well, I was partially honest there. It's either Earth or penis.
Oh,
Okay.
well, thank you. I appreciate you being honest. I've used that one for a long time. Now I do a do.
A do.
Oh, yeah. That's what everybody
That's a
does.
great one.
I know.
Yeah,
It is
all the vowels.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
See, and it could have been a word. How many times have you guessed a word that's you didn't even know was a word that ends up being the word?
See, it gets to the
I
point
get that
when
a couple
when
times.
there's double letters and I don't know, it throws me off. So I'm like doing every single letter and just hope something happens.
I find myself pronouncing out loud. Like, let's say it's like a vowel, like a blend of like IVE at the end. And I'm like, Clive, drive, brive. And then it'll be something
Yes.
else with those letters, but it doesn't sound like that. It's like
Yeah.
drive. And I'm like,
Yes.
I wasn't thinking that.
Drive.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a different sound. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't sounding it out that way.
So, Dallin, before we
Word of
close,
strategy.
I heard you throw this out to the universe that your goal is to be top 10 or higher.
Absolutely.
All right. I just wanted to throw it back out on the universe.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Goals top 10. Any spot above that is just a bonus. So.
Do you listen to the analysts?
Yeah,
Like,
I enjoy it. I'm a fan of CrossFit, so I enjoy that.
Yeah. So we'll be watching the Brian Friend, top 10 power ranking or whatever, and see what happens. And hopefully it'll either be right where you want it to be, or it'll be motivation for you
absolutely.
to like prove them wrong. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. No, yeah. Brian's a good dude. His rankings are fun. Yeah. Radio's a great word. That's 3 vowels.
It is.
I do earth and then I do sound.
Oh.
Just knock everything out right there.
Yeah, I try to. But then, I'm never getting it in 2 because I'm always like burning letters. But
yeah,
at least it's thorough. All right. So
I don't think I can get it in 2 anyways.
I don't think I ever have. It's okay.
All right, Dallin. Well, thank you so much for jumping on here with us today. Good luck with the rest of your training, and I hope we get to see you in Madison. We're still waiting for our press passes, but
yes, fingers crossed.
Yes,
we'll see you with an airwave sticking out of your jaw,
always
sweaty and breathing hard, and we'll
can't
ask you lots
talk
of
quite
questions.
right halfway because the airwave, halfway because I can't breathe.
We appreciate you giving your time always.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you.